The Joe Cronin Show is for mature audiences only. If you get offended by sexual comments, racial comments, or anything at all, or if you're just a big fat pussy, then please turn off this channel now or forever shut your mouth. I do a show about wrestling. I do a show about life. I do a show about video games. And if you don't like it, go the fuck somewhere else. Why do you get so angry at things, Joe? Why do you get so mad? I get so mad because I love things and I care about things so much and I believe the human potential is so great and we're wasting it. So I get angry. That's why I do it. I don't hate anybody. I love everybody and I hate everybody equally. I love sports. I love video games, I love life, and yet I hate it at the same time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start the show. This is the Joe Cronin Show.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me again. This is my favorite time of the week where I get to do my favorite show, Creators Corner, and this is episode number 3. And this is the one I've been excited about because circumstances has dictated that I get a very special guest. The guy who, in conjunction with Tommy C, has really got me off my ass to get my channel going and kind of make me believe in myself again. That sounds corny enough. My God, this is turning exactly what he said it was, Crybaby's Corner.
Told you.
But it's my man, it's my friend, it's my good buddy, and the dude who is the epicenter to our universe, our sun to our universe. We all revolve around him, the man who makes it all happen, the great, the incomparable Joe Cronin.
I think it's important that we tell everybody that we did 4 minutes of this already, and
Yes.
the audio didn't record. And you called me the sun of your universe, and I said, we're all going to implode, and it's my fault.
Yeah. We did do 4 minutes already, and I completely wasted it because I'm terrible at what I do. But really, that's just an indictment of my teacher.
The teachings of the teacher.
You failed me, Joe Cronin.
Let me tell you something else. And then you made fun of me because I out of nowhere started drinking.
Well, look at that douchey fucking teacup. Oh, my God. That is great. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen on a show ever.
It's really too bad that the audio didn't record because it's really funny how I didn't tell. I just started drinking tea, and I guess you weren't ready for that.
Well, it's not the tea. It's the vessel in which the tea was in. Look at that thing. It's so poncy.
You know, this thing is like $2. I do have china, though. I have fine china teacups. This is not one of those.
That just shows what type of a fucking terrible, non-prim and perfect person I am because I couldn't tell.
Good luck at all your yard sales that you go to, thinking you got some rich thing and you can't sell it for $2.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like when when I see old in front of me, I know old. But on a podcast where I just see my buddy drinking a cup of Earl Grey, I just see a fancy cup.
A fancy cup. It was I say Earl Grey, it was green tea actually, but
excuse me.
Sorry, I do drink Earl Grey though. I'm Captain Picard.
Yeah. Make it so. Okay, for those of you guys don't know who Joe Cronin is, and basically that should be none of you, but basically he runs a series of podcasting channels, YouTube channels, and there's a lot of them, too many to describe, all serving different purposes. But his main focus is wrestling and video games and stuff like that. And basically, in my opinion, he's the best wrestling commentator on YouTube. And I don't say that out of any because I'm part of the show or anything. I say it because it's true. I think that he's the most real when it comes to talking about wrestling. He's got raw emotion mixed in. He knows what he's talking about. He doesn't try to bullshit you. He's not trying to sell you some other fucking agenda in the wrestling world. He just tells you how he feels. And we don't get enough of that where it doesn't feel contrived or just needlessly, gratuitously angry. And he's got a couple guys that work with him, like myself and in the past Tasevich and Jesse, who are kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum. And he's the one in the middle, kind of keeping all the madness together. Would you feel that's a fair assessment? Or did I not do you justice at all?
I don't know. I'm keeping the madness together and being maddened at the same time. I don't know.
Right.
But I also don't think I think I could criticize myself because I think that I don't spend the most time talking about wrestling where like some of these other wrestling guys are real serious about it and they go an hour just talking about wrestling. There's no jokes and things. Yeah. And I think there's a market for that and people don't like what I do. So I think that if you get 30% of actual wrestling talk out of me, I think it's really good. But I don't think I am I think if I were to just do all wrestling talk, that would be all true. But I feel like because I, kind of branch out into comedy, jokes, ranting on one thing too long, I think I do. I don't think I am covering the shows the best, but I think you might be more entertained. It's kind of like wrestling. It's just like wrestling.
It is.
Vince McMahon is sports entertainment. If you want to just watch wrestling, maybe you go watch ROH or New Japan or something. I don't know. But WWE is entertainment and also has wrestling happening. I am entertainment and also start to sort of throw out views and critique on the product. As Vince McMahon says, I'm a critic, apparently.
See, that's the very reason why I call you the best. It's because you don't pigeonhole yourself in just all wrestling talk. It does branch out into other things, and you hear so much of yours and mine and other people's personalities in the show, and that's what makes it connectable. It's what makes people relate to you. I mean, you have some of the most rabid fans I've seen on YouTube as far as these wrestling podcasts goes. You might have lost some tonight, but
I made some of them mad by quitting early tonight. But.
Yeah, if you're watching this right after Monetize This, our weekly show that we do with Tommy C and Jesse J and a few others, you know what we're talking about. The show just ended in the most abrupt fashion ever. But, sometimes things like that happen.
They might tune in next week because they'll want to know what's going on. Just quickly, you know what I mean? And I want more.
It's a cliffhanger.
Maybe they're watching old Monetize This right now.
Right. Now they're like, I got to see what's going on here. But
yeah, go back.
When you're doing, let's get a little bit into the podcasting portion of it, since that's basically what your creation is about. When you're creating, when you're making podcasts, what's your aim? What's your goal? What's your, not your agenda, because I hate that fucking word, but what are you trying to get across? Are you just trying to be you? Are you trying to connect? What's the reasoning behind it?
I'm 30 years old. I don't want to die. No, it has nothing to do with what you said. The reasoning, I don't know. It depends on the podcast. It depends what we're talking about. There's different parts of me. There's a part of me that enjoys doing a show, like starting with music and saying, this is the show, and now let's get into the show. And I want to make something that I would want to listen to is basically what I come up with. Yeah. I would want to listen to this. So I'm going to do this. Something I didn't mention on my interview with Kevin when I was crying the other day, the hour interview I did, has to do with how I started. Now, before I mention this, too, I also want to say I like to make rant videos. Sometimes something pisses me off so much that I get insanely passionate about it, irrationally. I'm passionate about it, and I have to make a video about freaking out about it. So, besides doing the shows and the podcasts, I do make these rant things that seem over the top, but I'm actually mad. But I'm just not good at acting. People think that it's a joke or a play. Most of the time, it kind of is over the top, but I'm actually am mad, so it's real. Yeah. But I mean, if I say I'm going to kill someone with a rock or something, it's not real. That's not real. But I'm really angry. But no, it started because I was. First of all, like you said, we started talking about this on the one that you didn't record.
Yeah, the lost 4 minutes.
I carried a tape recorder with me all the time, all over the place, and I was always doing a show, always playing music on it, and coming back from the music and being like, and now I'm outside of a Dunkin' Donuts where this guy in the coat, he looks unhappy today, and I would describe people and have my own show, and I'd be like, and we're back after friggin' Madonna,
And that was Madonna with Material Girl, and now back to the guy at Dunkin' Donuts who has his wiener out. Yeah,
here's the Offspring, and then I would hit the button when Offspring came on the radio, or I'd flick to the radio and just whatever, I'd just be pretending that I was running a show. I enjoyed being mechanical, running it, and being the host of it, and then saying funny things and actually commenting on real things. So that's just something that's always, I guess since I was 8 years old, commenting on real things that I see and my opinions about them, being funny and goofy and over the top with the funniness, playing music to go along with it just to make this entertaining tape. And I would play the tape back and listen to it, and I enjoyed it. And then I was doing that before I got to watch people like George Carlin or listen to people like Howard Stern or those type of people that I would eventually love. And I started thinking when I first heard those people, oh my God, I used to like making tapes of myself and listening to it. They're doing what I wanted to hear, but they're professional, and they're older, obviously, and they're funny though. And so for 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old to connect, I'd say more 8, 9, 10-year-old to connect with Howard Stern and to connect with George Carlin. That's cool. They were so much older than me, and I'm really connecting with what they're doing. So that's why when younger people are listening to my show, and
we do have younger people listening quite often, which is kind of weird sometimes. But it's
it is weird when you're older, and especially nowadays. Like back when I was a kid, it's like older people be like, "How you doing, son?" and slap you on the back. Now you're afraid to even look at a little kid. He might tell you, "You raped me." You're just scared. But anyway, so I've been doing that all my life, But I will tell you what really jumped me to do this on YouTube. I finally figured it out. I've been making a YouTube channel where I just did whatever I want. I talk about the weather, sports, flip out, make a weird video, and it wasn't working because people didn't get it.
Yeah.
It wasn't one thing. You need on YouTube, you need to get good at one thing and do it over and over and over again. Keep doing it, and people will just keep listening to you that want to hear about that thing in you.
Yeah, you need that niche. You need that hook.
Yeah, you can't go. It's very hard to be variety on YouTube. That's very hard. You will be a very special person to do that. It is very hard to do, and I found out it wasn't working. And so 5 years into doing it, I found out it wasn't working. Then I realized, what do I listen to on YouTube? I started realizing I was listening to shows on video games and wrestling and other stuff like that, and I was like, geez, every one of these people, they do one thing and that's it. And I was listening to a guy called Sibco. And I don't know what happened to Sibco the last 6 months. I haven't heard from him really. But I was playing Diablo 3 came out.
Okay.
And I was playing Diablo 3 the day it came out. And Sibco started doing this thing called The State of Diablo 3. And every week he would do an hour or two podcast with his buddy. And I was obsessed with the game at the time. And in his podcast with this other guy or whoever his guest was that he had on, they were amazing. And I could sit there and listen to them talk about what are they going to do in the next patch? You got these gems, and I like how, and I'm mad at the legendary drop rate. And they're going in all these dorky things that I actually cared about. And I actually was on his show once too. I reached out to him and I actually got on his show once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like out of water. Like the other guy and him were like talking about all these nerdy things involved with the game, and I was like, "Well, I flip stuff on the auction house." I was just out of touch with them. But what I realized was I loved this format, and it was just great. He was always making those videos, and he had like 3,000 subs, and I was like, "This guy's on top of the world. If only I could have 3,000 subs."
Right.
And that's when I came up with the idea of what do I know the most, and then I was like, you know what, wrestling. I'm going to do wrestling. And then I came up with State of the WWE, and me and Tosevich recorded it, and it was great. And that's it. Yeah, that's how my channel started. And it started because I was like, you know what? I want to do State of Diablo 3, but I'm not smart enough. I don't know enough. I don't care and know enough about Diablo 3. I do care. I love listening to them. But my brain doesn't work that way with this game. I will not be this smart, and I won't be able to come up with these ideas.
But you found your niche.
Yeah, I could talk about wrestling.
Yeah.
And so that's what it came down to is I always wanted to do a show, and I just want to do a show, and I can't think of what to do it on. That's it, wrestling. That will never end. Yeah. I can watch it every week now. Plus, also, Dave, I was bored of wrestling at the time. And the only thing that made me get excited about wrestling was being able to criticize or talk about it afterwards.
So that's an interesting,
wrestling.
That's an interesting aspect, yeah.
Yeah.
You touched on it earlier about how you do rant videos from time to time, and you there's that Ponzi fucking teacup.
Oh, governor.
You do rant videos, and you get very passionate about things. I think that comes out quite clear to a lot of people. Is it safe to say that this has become a form of therapy for you? This is a cheaper way to get the things out than actually going to see a psychiatrist, because it seems like this has become your safe haven, Colt Cabana. Your safe haven to really talk about the things that you care about and get it out there.
I have no, I would say that's true, because for after high school for 6 years, my 3 or 4 buddies, we all drank and partied and had fun, and they're all gone. Everybody has kids, and we just don't see each other anymore. And the last few years working a lot, and I gotta, I don't know, man. I realized I don't have a damn friend.
Yeah.
I don't have any friends. And I want to say that before I did start the YouTube, before I was successful in YouTube, Cronin, me and Troy did a show on Stickam, so I kind of skipped that part.
Yeah,
we did a show.
Stickam, yeah.
It was a radio style show. We interviewed bands. My format was me and Troy just shot the shit about nothing. We interviewed bands and we got drunk. And that's why I got drunk. I don't know if he always did, but I know I did. And Troy was my only friend, really, that I saw.
Yeah.
So Troy's my only friend, and we did this show together, and we worked together, and then we didn't work together. And so, that was it. And then Stickam got shut down, and when Stickam got shut down is when I went over to YouTube again and said, well, let's try. And YouTube had the live feature, which they didn't have before, and that's what opened up the door for me. The idea to go live. Live has always appealed to me.
It's the way to go.
I liked recording shows and posting them and stuff, but I just like the idea of live so much better. It's why I probably don't watch SmackDown on wrestling, and I watch WWE Raw, because SmackDown, I just go, it's not live. I just don't have that feeling. I don't know what it is.
Read the spoilers. It just doesn't feel as relatable, connectable, and you don't have that sense that anything can happen.
Yeah,
which is something that we bring to with the Joe Cronin show. You never know what the fuck we're going to talk about.
Yeah, you don't know what I'm going to do. It's the bad thing about the show and the good thing about the show. The bad thing is I might have a bad show because I didn't plan enough, or I might shut the show off out of nowhere, or which has never happened, but I did it tonight. Or the show could be brilliant because I was talking about wrestling, and the next thing you know, I'm taking a bear out.
Yeah.
Some people might like it, some people might not like that, and I think sometimes that's, again, when I start getting into all these, not just reviewing wrestling, but doing these funny things, you lose subs there too, because people go, just get back to the wrestling.
Right.
But then you get all these other people cheering you on, saying this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, it's a balance. It's a balancing act.
I just hope I know there are a lot of people that stick around, even though they don't like the serious talk, and they don't like the funny stuff that's not funny to them. So I know there's a lot of people that stick around, so I appreciate that.
I think you're a taste for all flavors. Like you have a ability to connect with so many different people. The way you talk and the way you're kind of like a non-douchey Keith Olbermann, because Keith Olbermann can talk about anything passionately. It seems like. He went from calling for the president to be fucking indicted to talking about fucking Joe Torre. And he does it with the same fervor that you do. You have that same type of quality. You're not a douchebag like Keith Olbermann is, but you have that same type of ability, which is a rare thing.
Yeah,
that's just natural. That's just something that you, like when you were a kid, it just kind of transferred over into adulthood.
I think it's the ADD.
I can't concentrate on anything, so I'm just anything I talk about, I'm passionate about.
I might have autism too. We don't know.
Everybody has autism now. It's a new thing.
Yeah.
It's a new thing. You got almost 11,000 subs on the mothership channel, JoeCroninShow.com on YouTube. You've got almost 11,000 subs. You've created a hell of a community. You have been very responsible for the success and beginning success and budding success of other channels, such as, Tommy C has gotten a huge push from you. I'm getting a push from you. You've helped multiple people out. How do you feel being that guy? Does it ever dawn on you that what you've created, that this is all spawning from something you started on Stickam 6 years ago or whatever, 3 years ago, whatever it was?
Yeah, it's so weird. It is bizarre to think about, and how Tommy found me because I made a Rage hockey video. I think if Jerome McGinley hadn't not been traded to the Bruins, and I hadn't made a video about spiking his head into the parquet of the Boston Garden, we wouldn't be talking right now, you know?
Right.
Plus,
Right.
and here's another thing, too. Tommy C immediately from the beginning was like a cheerleader for me, even though I think I had 500 subs and he had like 100 subs or something. And Tommy C was like, you're going to do, you know, you're going to be, I think you're going to go far with this, you know, type of thing. And I was like, look at us. He's like, yeah, you got a couple hundred. You go, look at you got like 500 subs. It's amazing, you know? And I was like, yeah, I guess, I don't know.
That was right before Tommy and I stopped talking for a little while. I remember
Yeah.
that because he was telling me about this guy that he met, that did this insane hockey video, and me, I was in pain and had my head up my ass, so I didn't really care.
Fuck him.
But he does wrestling, Dave, and he's so good at what he does. I'm telling you, you got to listen to this guy. Oh, I'm like, well, maybe, you know, I'm doing my shows. Maybe we can link up together. It never,
Like, I'm good, you fuckhead.
I'm like, right? I'm like, what about me, Tommy? What about me? But,
Well,
you know, and he was right. I mean, when I finally actually started listening to you, he was 100% right. I mean, he found you guys connected, and this whole fucking thing has just started and snowballed. I mean, it's crazy.
And let me say too, I'm so happy you did find me because I'll come out and say it. If I had, I hit a jackpot at SummerSlam and I blew up a little bit that night and I got my moment. Me and Tommy talked about what we both liked, and I said, I just thought about, man, wouldn't it be great to have a real audience? Wouldn't it be great for someone to really hear me instead of like 2 or 3 people hearing me here or there and whatever? Just have an explosive night or something. And Tommy was hoping it would happen for him, and he kept talking about it, and I wasn't saying it. But I was always thinking that'd be I really want that to happen too. But I never said it. But Tommy talked about it a lot, but I didn't. And then it did happen. And this was only into a month or 2 months into really talking with Tommy and or knowing Tommy. And it was just so funny how it happened right away. And he was so pumped up for me. He was like, dude, I could see it on your face. You were so happy. You were just taking calls over and over again. And I couldn't believe how many calls you were taking. And Tommy was like, congrats. And he just called me. And I think, you know, if I didn't meet Tommy, I would have just done that, and I would have gotten, when the show was over, I would have put my headphones down, and I would have just
another night.
Not just another night. I mean, I would have been happy that it happened, but I kind of would have said, it would have been a little sadder. I would have said, you know, I have no one to talk to about this.
Oh, yeah.
I have not, you know what I mean? I have nobody personally that cares or knows that something really cool just happened. Yeah. But Tommy C knew. And so that was really cool. You know, I tell Leah, she's like, what the fuck? I don't know what you're talking about. You know, Tosevich, I think Tosevich would have been there so Tosevich would have been. But it was cool to have Tommy like be calling me and stuff. And so I always immediately once I got anything going on, I immediately just want to help Tommy. That's all I think about is I want to help Tommy get as exposed as much as he can. I didn't think that I was hoping someone would help me, and guess what? Someone did help me. JD from New York, JD NY 206. I think that's his thing. JD.
Yeah, it's weird. You never know what his is.
Yeah. But no, JD from New York. I mean, dude has 20,000 subs, and he put me on his thing, and I got tons of subs and all his listeners from that. And I mean, it was like pay it forward, man. I mean, the guy was like, I'm gonna go help Joe out because I think he's awesome. I think JD's awesome. I think Tommy's awesome. I think you're awesome. So it's like all these people. I wouldn't be sitting here talking with you right now if I didn't flip out and Tommy C didn't find me and know what I was really doing on YouTube, which is just it's crazy how we met. If you think about it, it's crazy.
It is. It's a very strange series of events, and it's even more odd when you think about it because we know how wrestling people are. I think we have a good idea of how the douchiness that can come around with some of these people, especially on YouTube where everyone's kind of protective of their own thing, and you don't see communities pop up as commonly as they probably should. But you're this type of guy that you've put yourself in a position where it is not, you don't ever feel it's about Joe Cronin. You know, you make everybody feel that it's about them. And that's what makes you likable. That's what makes you connectable. And that's what makes us all want to be a part of helping the Joe Cronin Show and helping you. Because, I mean, I said it before in the 4 minutes that we lost. When you figure out just how good you are at this, because I really do not think you know, when you figure that out and it all clicks, the world is going to burn in your light, my friend. Because you have something special. I believe it with all my heart.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'll set someone on fire, I guess. I don't even know. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know what I'm doing. Put it that way. I have no freaking clue what I'm doing. But yet it seems like I'm.
11,000 people would disagree with you, my friend. You clearly know what you're doing.
It seems like I'm a genius, but I really don't know what the hell I'm doing.
It's idiot savant type deal, you know.
But I do know what I'm doing at the same time. It's definitely a mix of both. It's a mix of I know exactly what I'm doing, and I have no fucking clue what's going to happen here.
You just kind of wish you had more hours in the day. You know, you wish you had more time so you could put more into it. Yeah,
that is true. If you told me, if some guy was like, "Hey Joe, I like your channel. I'm rich. I'll give you $600 a week to make as many just do YouTube and stay home."
Boom.
I bet you we would make his money back because I would.
Easily.
I mean, we would get videos blowing up. I'm just telling you, it would happen. It's too bad. Maybe I'll do better, and it can only go up. Put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
think about this: we're still growing. You're still growing, even with a 6-month ban from YouTube. What is ever going to stop Joe Cronin? You know, death. That's it.
Another strike and them canceling my account.
Well, yeah, okay.
That's what will stop it.
Yeah, that might put a permanent.
They already sent me a warning about it too. They were like,
really?
"Be careful. We don't want to give you another strike.
Jesus.
Make sure you go over all your thumbnails and stuff."
I'll get you out of here on this one because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know it's late where you are, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning from here in Germany. So I'll get you out of here on this. Just real quick, give me 2 things. One, what is your favorite thing you've done on air to date? And 2, what is the one thing you wish would just go away and you never had to hear again? Is there a shtick or a bit that you just like, God, I wish it would fucking die? Let's start with the good and end with the bad because we like to end with the negative here. So let's start with the good. What is the best thing you feel you have done on any form of broadcasting to date?
I guess it's hard to say like the best thing. Like I can think of like moments that stick out to me, and there's so many of them. I couldn't really tell you the number one thing. I don't know if I could say the best thing I did.
What's your favorite?
I'll tell you what one of my favorite things is, and it has nothing to do with wrestling. Okay, can I? And which might be disappointing to some people.
Oh no, go ahead.
One of my favorite things I ever did was NSYNC was on MTV right after SummerSlam, and NSYNC was getting back together.
Oh.
So I went live on YouTube for 3 hours, and in the title I wrote NSYNC reunites, and it said we interview them live.
Oh God.
And the video got like 300,000 hits, and there was like 500 people coming in the room at once.
No shit.
Being like, "Where's NSYNC? Where are they?"
Oh
and
my
it was
God.
it was the biggest troll job ever. And I was like, and I don't know if I took it down from YouTube. I think I might have taken it down because I was worried they were going to ban me.
Yeah.
But somewhere I have the raw footage of the 3 hours, and it's goddamn hilarious. I'm like, Justin's going to be coming out soon, guys. Just so you know. And then I'd bring out like a Elmo puppet, start talking shit to the Elmo puppet, and these people in the chat are just losing their minds. Like, what is this? When's he gonna be here? Is this Eminem? Who is this guy? And people are just,
Eminem.
and I'm just telling people in the chat they're assholes. Like, and I'm just going into this whole thing about it's just bizarre, and it was like 3 hours.
Oh my God.
Thousands and thousands of views. I mean, it was the biggest troll job. So that was my favorite. One of my favorite things that's happened. But if you want to say what's one of your favorite like sentences, it would be #fact, because I did not now it sounds douchey to be like, oh, #fact. But that was my favorite thing because I didn't know, you know what I mean? I did what I always do, which is I just went off saying, I have no idea what I'm going to say. Yeah. I go off on a rant. I drop #fact, on somebody. And the next thing you know, everyone's fucking emulating it. Everyone's saying it. Everyone's telling me it. 90 people bought the T-shirt that says it.
Jesus.
I mean, so that's a proud thing for me. I said something, people fucking latched onto it, and I got to feel. I also always want to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
so
you got a catchphrase,
I got to feel sort of in the smallest mini version of what a wrestler could feel like if he's given a mic in the ring, cuts a promo, and then everyone shows up the next day with those signs. That's the close. I mean, I'm telling you, that is a huge feeling, and I would say my most my favorite. So I gave you my best promo.
Yeah.
My best moment that I had to myself, even though no one probably would pick that as their best Joe Cronin moment. I'm sick. And then I would say my favorite physical thing that ever happened would be the night I went through a table in the living room fighting the bear, because I don't think nobody could believe that I broke a table.
Yeah, I know, that was great.
So there's that.
So
and now,
let's flip to the negative real quick.
Yeah.
If there is just one thing you wish would die, I mean, people know that you're quite known for your imitations and your impersonations, which are 99% of the time very, very good. I'm not sure if that's going to be one of the things that you wish would just die and go away. But what would it be? What would be the one thing you just like, fuck, I am tired of doing this shtick. I'm tired of doing this bit. Is there anything?
I'm a little tired of the Bret Hart.
Are you tired? I was hoping you were going to say that, because now you have to give an example of what is the Bret Hart? What is that? Bret
Hart is, when in America, one thing works and you just keep beating it down until it's crap. See, I can't even do it anymore. I don't want to do it. It's,
now, you told me a story in private that you've done it so much that sometimes you slip into it and your wife wants to kill you.
She wants to kill me. Now I want to kill me. Well, the problem is it's inconsistent, and it really started at a high point because people, first of all, couldn't believe. They were like, holy shit, like that's so good.
Yeah.
And then I said some really good stuff with it, and then I think every other time it's sunk down more and more and more.
Really? And you've done it like a million times since then, so it's right now it's just kind of you're grinding the bedrock at this point.
I think I've done the Bret Hart thing on the show probably 17 times, and I think that's maybe 12 times too many.
So is this your way of saying goodbye to Bret Hart? Is Bret Hart taking a leave of absence and only going to be brought back on special occasions?
I think that Bret Hart just needs to choose his spots better. Is what I think. I think if there's something that warrants Bret Hart showing up, it would be good. I think Tosevich, before he died, worked well with Bret Hart too. I think he was a catalyst because he would bring up things as Bret Hart. I think it was funnier with him. So yeah, Bret Hart. I've had enough of that. Sometimes I wince it when people say cronies now too.
Really?
Like when like Tony said something like the cronies one day, and I went,
It does feel a little douchey, because it's your last name, and now there's people. It's almost like religion, and you don't need to be a part of that.
I thought it was cool. Well, it's not even that. Not that it's not cool. I just feel like a douchebag because douchey. like I'm like, oh, my crony. I just feel like I'm a loser.
Oh, my cronies. You don't want to be like Christian, my peeps, and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's exactly how I don't want to. Yeah, that's exactly right.
What about Jerichoholics? You don't want Jerichoholics?
Yeah, I don't. Well, no, that's okay. For some reason, he's cool. That works out, I think, to me.
I agree with that.
I don't know. He works, but I don't. And I like the idea of cronies as long as I'm not saying it, I think. Even when I hear it, though, I kind of, ooh.
So I really appreciate the time that you've given me. It's awesome. You did a great job. As always, I mean, fuck, even when you're not feeling good, you still are able to spit gold, so I appreciate that. Is there anything you want to leave your fans with? Anybody out there watching, is there anything you'd like to tell them that maybe they don't get to hear all the time?
Never give up. Never surrender. No, I don't know.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego. No, I'm kidding.
I think that people out there listening to you, me, Tommy, whoever they listen to, number one, you can do anything you want. And that's something, it's bizarre to say that now because I didn't learn it until the last couple of years, I think. Really, the last couple of years I've learned this.
Yeah.
If I had reached for my goals and put everything else aside and just kept going at it, you may not make it, but you'll never make it if you don't even do it. Like, I mean, you're not going to make it, but you'll be surprised how far you made it. Yeah. And even if you ended up saying like you wanted to be a baseball player and you went in the minor leagues for like 4 years and eventually you went and got a regular job, you can always say to yourself, I was crazy and I got to the minor leagues. You know what I mean? I know that I can do stuff if I want to. You know what I mean? That makes you feel good about yourself, even if you didn't make it there. You think your world would end and you go kill yourself because you didn't make it. But it's actually the other way around. Just like now that I think about people that want to go to wrestling school, and I think I was there. I wrestled some wrestlers who became kind of bigger, and I know I could have done, and I regret it. But I also remember thinking I can't do this YouTube stuff, and for 4 years putting it aside, and then being like, you know what, I'm going to do a wrestling show, and I'm going to go after it.
Yep.
And bam, look what happens. So it's a combination of all kinds of things. But if I could say one thing about how to, first of all, thank you for watching the show. Thank you for subbing Dave.
Thank you for subbing Dave. I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Thank you for subbing Dave.
Because I know those are the hardcore people. If they're, you know what I mean, these are the, you know what I'm saying? Like because, you know what I mean, people are lazy a lot of times, and they'll just be like, oh, Joe, he's done with this. I just want to see his wrestling thing. Okay, I'm done. Joe, Dave, and fucking Tommy, I don't care. But the people that are hardcore go, I'm going to go check out that guy. I like, they're really into it. So those are the people watching us right now. So I'm glad you guys are hardcore, and all I can say is thank you, and thank you to Dave, and thank you to Tommy, and thank you to all these people that are now my friends that I wouldn't have. They might be in Germany secluded thinking the same thing, but I feel secluded in America right now. So I don't know what I would do without this. This is therapy for me, whether it's me ranting or talking to you guys. And I would say share the videos. Share these videos all over social media and all over Twitter. You don't have to destroy people with them, but just keep sharing them to everybody, because that's how stuff gets spread around, and that's how people see things. So if you want to help, that's how you do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think the underlying message here is you miss 100% of the shots you never take.
All right.
And
I used to be like, whatever. My life sucks, and it's because my mother and my dad died, and I suck, and I'll never be good. I used to think that way, and I still sometimes do a little bit.
Well, sure, we all get a little empathy. Yeah, we'll get down.
Yeah, I say fuck it sometimes too. But no, if you go for it, you're gonna get somewhere, and that's what I learned that from girls.
Yeah.
I mean, holy shit! I would never go up to a girl, and then all of a sudden I started, when I didn't care about myself or my life or anything, and I was buzzed a little bit. I was getting laid every night for 2 years because I was like, "What's up? What's your name? You're Shelly? I like drinking. What are you drinking? I'll buy you a drink right now. Do you have any friends with you? That type. Bam, and you're going home. Yep. I mean, just do it. Just go for it. Reach for that brass ring, as Vince McMahon said.
Absolutely.
You're a WWE superstar. Go for it.
At the very least, you're going to get experience out of it. You're going to learn something.
Yeah.
It's the kick to the nuts. You're going to learn something.
You know what I learned? I learned how to do it the right way. So then when you met someone good, they were like, this guy doesn't suck.
Yeah, there you go. That's wisdom for life, children, right there.
Yeah, that's DDP. And hey, we go right now. DDP started at 35. Yeah. As he reminds us all, and every fucking time you hear him.
Yeah, he does. It's interesting the time that we live in, because people have always said you can do whatever you want and all that. The only thing getting in your way is yourself. Now that's really true. With the internet, with YouTube, there are places that there's that fucking cup again. There are there are places where anybody can create whatever they want and put it out there. You might get trolls, you might get hate, you might get someone who falls in love with you, and you fucking get 11,000 subs out of it. It's such a fucking crazy ride.
It is a ride, and it's fun, and it's not for everybody because they don't like putting themselves out there. Yeah. I like putting myself out there.
Yeah.
And I like having to defend myself, and I like the idea that some people think I'm serious, and and I gotta tell them I'm not. It's a bizarre place, and throw your opinion out there and piss people off. That's what I like to do.
So thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. This is gonna wrap up episode 3 of Creators Corner. You are the man. What can I say? So if you want to hear more and see more of this man, where can they find you? Go ahead and plug yourself real good.
Oh, all right, well, I'll tell you what you can do. You can find me on youtube.com/Joe Cronin Show. That's where you can find me. And on Spectrum Gaming 617. I've got two YouTube channels, people. What am I, stuttering John from Howard Stern? 2 YouTube channels. I got 1 strike because YouTube sucks on JoeCroninShow.com, so I can't go live. So subscribe to me on JoeCroninShow.com. Subscribe to me on Spectrum Gaming 617. And subscribe to me on Twitch, Spectrum Gaming 617. And subscribe to Dead on Dave, the Dead on Dave. Right now, if you're sub to him, I want you to draw a penis in the comments section, okay? If you draw 3,000 penises in the comments section on this video, I promise you, Dave will come live on YouTube one of these nights.
Absolutely.
He'll run down the list of comments and everyone will make him harder. He'll just continue to get harder. He sees another penis. Someone draws a really big one. Someone does one of those crazy graphic ones that looks like a real dick. And then he gets really hard. He gets 3 inches, folks. 3 inches, and then he gets 4 inches, and then there's another dick, and these dicks just keep coming. 32 dicks, 52 dicks, 72 dicks, 80 dicks, 150 dicks, and now Dave is really good. He's got that little fucking bit of sperm that starts leaking out like you're coming, but you don't feel the cum, so you're like, I'm not having an orgasm, this isn't real, but I'm dripping, this is so weird, am I a girl? No, you're just so sexed up and turned on, and it's just leaking all down your crotch, it's leaking all over the ground, all over the floor, and he's got a tear coming down his eye, he's gonna get blue balls, he doesn't want to get that though, and then finally, here comes penis 422. His penis starts to quiver, shake, and then rocket ship launch. 1,000 penises Dave has seen. He has gone erect and blown his load all over the computer, and now he is dead on Dave as far as shooting semen into the PC screen. So subscribe. Thank you very much. Send those penises, and good night.
Well done, sir. Thank you. We're out of here.
Get out of here. The Joe Cronin Show is for mature audiences only. If you get offended by sexual comments, racial comments, or anything at all, or if you're just a big fat pussy, then please turn off this channel now or forever. Shut your mouth! Yeah, China, she had something in her ass. Like, one night they were doing it in the hotel room, and Triple H was like, I always thought this, she'd have a dick, but she doesn't. And then they were doing it, and then Triple H, went for the pink and the stink, and he was like, whoa, there's some trash in the way. What is that? You'll see what happens because wishes don't come true, and winners always triumph over wannabes. CM Punk, what hurts, huh? Did your brother take some money from you again? Is that what hurts? We're still stuck with this PG horse. We still have to watch Sheamus try to go pick out a toy from the Toys R Us shelf and try to insert it into some little kid. Before Magic Johnson gives you can use it. I'm using it. Hey, I'm some random person over here. You can't use it. YouTube flag. Fuck. What the fuck? Fuck. 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 I mean, is there anything Terry Funk won't do for money?
Hell, I won't do anything that's homosexual. Unless they're gonna pay me.